Alright, let's talk about this. It's been a while since I made a video, and you can tell I am as delusional as I've ever been before. So, first off, what is going on, everybody? It is Kira today, and I'm back with a new video after about 6 months now. So yeah, as I'm filming this video, it's February 2025, and what I'm going to be recapping right now is anything from September 2024 all the way into December 2024. So basically I'm going to recap my prep, and then the actual meet itself like I have done in the past before. So as per usual, I'm going to be filming. I'm in the Legion barbershop, so it's a little bit echoey, but I kind of like the lighting in here, and it kind of looks fire, especially with the title right here. So where have I been? So I've just been training as per usual since the last YouTube video I uploaded. So everyone who knows me personally, I've just been training, posting to Instagram and everything, just doing everything as per usual, just working right now. All I'm doing is working and lifting right now, and that's pretty much life right now, and that's all we could really ask for. Getting stronger, making money, fun. But yeah, so I become a delusional as ever, making Roman Reigns my personality again in 2024 and 2025, as I did in 2014 and 2015 during that fun time in high school. For those who actually remember me then, that's hilarious. Yeah, so basically what we're gonna do, recap the events from the prep from September to December and after the last meet in August. We have the Undisputed Championship belt right here. We're wearing the gold OTC Roman Reigns shirt that the WWE shop released, and we're just gonna recap the events. So as you guys remember, if you guys did watch the last meet recap, we competed in August in Rockland with a bunch of the homies from Legion. We pretty much took up all the spots in the meet, so that was pretty fun. So it was a fun time. It was fun prepping with all the boys and everything, but when it came to the meet, just a lot of factors weren't in our favor, like with the warm-up area, the amount of weights that we had to use and everything and all that. So things weren't ideal. We still had a bunch of fun. I ended up totaling 597.5 kilos, which is almost near the 600 kilo barrier. But it honestly sucked because I fell 2.5 kilos short, and I only PR'd my total in competition by 2.5 kilos since the one a year prior, the Vegas one that I did, which I also did a recap that I would put up here too. So yeah. And then as you guys know, I've been with Lucas for, at this point, around 3 years. And after the last meet, I thought it was just time to, I wanted something new, honestly, because his coaching vision and what I wanted out of my coach, I think the time came just because we've known each other for so long, and it just kept getting to the point where I wanted something new, and we did. So I'm working with Alex Stronghold right now. I hope that's how I pronounce it, I don't know. But Cherry Lips on IG right here. But I've been working with him ever since September after the meet, and yeah, we're gonna start here. And in this portion of the video, I'm only gonna talk about the primary days, which is my Monday and my Saturday session. So before I used to have all three of my primary lists for squat, bench, and deadlift all on separate days, which was in the past Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Monday squat, Wednesday deadlift, Saturday bench. And that worked well for quite a while, but one thing we wanted to change too was just the spacing in between my squat and my deadlift. So we found out from previous knowledge of mine that my squat heavily affects my deadlift, opposed my deadlift affecting my squat. So basically, we're gonna have the primary squat at the start of the week, and then we have all the way till Saturday to recover for the primary deadlift, and then I'll still be fine for the Monday session on squat. So that's where we're at. All right, so pretty much in this video, I'm just gonna recap the meet itself, and I'm just gonna very vaguely like speed run and recap the prep, which was 15 weeks from September 2024 all the way until the end of December 2021, which was the meet. So we had a 15-week, well, technically we had a 16-week prep, 3 5-week blocks, and 1 taper week. So the first 5 weeks were based on triples, the second block was based on doubles, and then the last one was singles, and then right into the taper week for the meet. So basically recap training, the biggest things for the triples block that we were doing was just me trying to really keep my center of mass stacked in squat, just so I wouldn't shoot into my hips. And I could stay in my quads a lot longer and maintain positioning overall throughout the whole lift a lot better. To recap the end of the triples block in September to October 2024, the triples block on the 4th week of the 5-week block, I ended up tripling 419 pounds on squat. It moved very well. I'll have it up on the screen here. And that moved pretty well. And for my standards, that was like a really good squat, so that was really good. And then into our Saturday, I ended up hitting 281 pounds. or 127.5 kilos on bench for my primary single on that week 4. And then at the same time too, I hit 556 pounds or 252.5 kilos for my top triple on deadlift. And that triple, it got really sticky because I was, at this point in the prep, I was still trying to do my old deadlift technique where I was trying to get as upright as possible while using more quads. Long story short, I was basically just scooping the bar and trying to use legs to break it off when I have a really strong posterior, so it would just throw off the movement. I wouldn't use as much of my posterior strength. And then we move on into the week 5, the finale of this triples block. Unfortunately, I got sick that same Saturday I just recapped. So I was feeling the effects of the sickness all throughout this week, so honestly this week was pretty bad, in my opinion. Coach reassured me that this is just another bump in the road, which it was honestly in that time, but I still like to look at it as just in my opinion, a failure for that week 5, just because I'm never satisfied with myself, and I used to play baseball, so I'm used to failing all the fucking time. And yeah, so I've always just dealt with it and just brushed it off and put it in the past. So we attempted 430 pounds for our top triple. This would have been a 2.5 kilo PR on my triple. The first rep moved decent, the second rep moved really slow, and my nose started bleeding, so I just racked it after the third, and I didn't even attempt the third. So I still hit 430 pounds for a double, which was good for my standards because at the time that was 10 kilos under my best double, and I did it while sick. So the odds were just not in my favor, but that was the end to squat on that block. And then fast forward into Saturday, I ended up only hitting 275 pounds for my single because I ended up failing my top single that day, which was 130 kilos or 287 pounds. And at this point, that was kind of a stinger because that was still 2.5 kilos under my best bench. And I was still dealing with the sickness, so I was just bodied by that. And then for our top triple on deadlift, we ended up only hitting 562 pounds. The first rep was fast, the second rep was decent, the third rep I soft locked and my hands started opening up at the top, so that sucked honestly. And like I said, we mentioned that we just used that as just a bump in the road, and we just ended up gearing up for the doubles block, which was actually a very successful block. So like I said, now we're into the doubles phase. Within our 5-week block, so we fast forward to our week 4 of that block, it was a very successful doubles block in my opinion. So at week 4, which was 7 weeks out at this time, we ended up doubling 424 pounds or 192.5 kilos on squat. That moved really good. I was really happy with how that went. And then we fast forward into Saturday. I ended up hitting 275 pounds or 125 kilos on bench. And from what I remember that day, my shoulder was kind of bugging me, so I was like happy to take that weight, which was still like a mental block for me at the time. And then for deadlift, I doubled 567 pounds or 257.5 kilos, which set us up very nicely for the next week. And then now into the week 5, which was 6 weeks out at this point. On squat, I messed up the execution really bad on my portion, so I ended up doubling and still hitting a 2.5 kilo PR on squat, which was 446 pounds or 202.5 kilos. But honestly, my center mass got really messed up on the first rep, and then I tried to overcompensate it for the second rep, and the second rep turned into a way bigger grinder than it needed to be. So that squat was unfortunate, but then we found out what we needed to do, and squat from here just kept progressing gradually, and my momentum for squat really picked up from here at this 6 weeks out mark. And then we fast forward into our primary session on Saturday, ended up hitting 275 pounds again, or 125 kilos on my bench single, because like at the same time my shoulder was still kind of bugging me. I was just happy to take this weight week to week at this point in the prep. But deadlift was fire because we had a top double at an RP 8.5, prescribed for 584 or 265 kilos, and this moved very well. Like in my opinion, it was more on the RP 8 side because I know I could have gone 2 more with how that felt on the day, and that was a really good pull for me at the time because I was 5 kilos over my best double, and it was just really smooth. And then 2 at the same time in that week on my Tuesday session, which is my secondary deadlift day, I ended up hitting a PR with 573 pounds or 260 kilos for my pause deadlift, which set me up very nicely for that 584 on Saturday. And now we move on into the finale of the prep, which is the singles block. So another 5-week block starting from 5 weeks out. Weeks 1 and 2 went by pretty smoothly. I'm not going to talk too much about them. They went by pretty smoothly to set me up for the weeks 3 through 5. So I'm going to start at week 3 on this one, which is about 3 weeks out at this point. Squat single, hit 430 pounds, probably the fastest 430 I've moved in a very long time. Into Saturday, 275 pounds on bench again, but it was just moving better each week, which was really good. Deadlift, 573 pounds, moved at like absolute butter. Now we go into the week 4, which was 2 weeks out at this point. On squat, hit 205 kilos or 452 pounds. That was really smooth, and that was a really big confidence booster because I haven't squatted anything above a yellow with that much confidence in so long. And then with our Saturday session, 281 pounds, 127.5 kilos. Really good comp pause on that set. I was really happy with that day. Just trying to stack the chips into the 130 for the week 5. And then on deadlift for our single for the week 4, hit 595 pounds or 270 kilos. This shit fucking flew. That was one of my best 595s in so long, and that was the first time I pulled it since the last prep back in August, and it was levels above better, like the fucking Roman Reigns shirt, levels above. That was really nice. And now setting us up for our week 5, which was 1 week out at this point. This was the very start of December right now. So for our primary squat session on the week 5, we ended up hitting what the anticipated goal was, which was 474 pounds or 215 kilos. So that was a 2.5 kilo PR, and that was about a pretty much 10 kilo PR at the time because I haven't hit. The last squat PR I had was the Bay Area barbell meet that I did back in July 2022, where I squatted 212.5 kilos or 468 pounds. It took a very long time to finally PR that squat, but we finally broke that with a 215 kilo squat or 474 pounds. And then plus with the back downs on that day, I also had a really nice PR with 182.5 kilos or 402 pounds for our top set of 5. So that was a really successful squat day overall, and that was probably like the best my squat has felt in a very long time. And then 2, to recap our Tuesday session to set us up for Saturday, I ended up pausing 262.5 kilos or 579 pounds on deadlift. That was so nice. Granted, only 2.5 kilo PR, but it probably moved better than the 260 kilo that I pulled the block prior. Now to set us up for Saturday for bench, we get the goal with 130 kilos or 287 pounds with an actual comp pause. It was a grinder, yes, but it was still a very quality pause, and it was just a good rep overall, so that was nice. And then on deadlift, here's the finale of the prep, which was very nice. On deadlift, we had a single, and the goal was 622 pounds or 282.5 kilos, and we hit just that. The last warm-up of 5 reps, 270 kilos, which would match my week 4 pull, was amazing. Probably the easiest 5 reps I've ever pulled in my life. And then for a 2.5 kilo PR, in my opinion, it was a 7.5 kilo PR because honestly, I pulled 280 kilos in the past, but it was a soft lock and it was terrible. This 282.5 kilos is amazing. It was a very smooth pull. I held it at the top, and it was just an amazing set. So that was great. That was a really big deadlift PR, which put me at a 627.5 kilo total for that week, which was great because my all-time total at the time was 630 kilos with my bench being 2.5 higher. But that was probably my best overall week of training in that whole prep. And then the taper, it was a different taper style than what I was used to in the past. I really like this taper style where we didn't taper bench at all, so basically we just benched it to the meet. That's why we had our primary bench on Saturday to emulate meet day, which was great. And then all we had to do was just manipulate the days with squats, so I just had to squat a day earlier. So I ended up training 5 days that week instead of my normal 4. So on the taper, it was a really easy week overall. I'll probably put like just my heaviest squat and my deadlift here. And overall, that prep was really solid. The first block, it was a little bit slow, and especially it's like getting sick in that time. The doubles block overall was very successful, and the singles block was damn near perfect for me that whole time, so that was amazing. It was a very solid prep overall, and this set me up for my best meet performance to date, which was very nice. All right, so now that we quickly recapped the meet prep, I'm gonna recap the meet itself. So, the meet was on December 21st, 2024 at Barbell Brigade Gym in Los Angeles, California on Gibbons Street. For those of you who don't know, it's pretty much near Chinatown, kind of right next to where the LA River is in that downtown-ish area. So I haven't been there in so long, or just that area in a long time, so parking for the meet was terrible, just trying to find a parking space down the street or along the block in that entire section. So that was terrible. The drive there, like I said, I'm from Fresno, California, so the drive there was about 3.5 hours. It turned into being right around 3.5, just with the 2 stops I had to do. And then I just stopped at the gym for early equipment check on the Friday, and then I traveled to my uncle's house east way across LA, and he's about 40 minutes from where the gym is because he lives on that Brea side. So I stayed with him just because I didn't want to have to get a hotel that was somewhat closer, because I'd rather just stay at a house if I can before a meet to just be as comfortable as possible. The variables going into the meet was pretty nice. The whole prep I ended up training right at 90 kilos pretty much the whole prep, so that was nice. There was the bump in the road during the doubles block where I got food poisoning and I dropped all the way from 196 pounds to about 188 in 3 days. So recomping my weight the first 3 weeks of that part of the block was terrible, but when we got back for the singles block, we were the strongest we had ever been. So that was nice. And then the meet day was pretty smooth overall. So the first session from Legion, we had a few of our guys competing. So it was originally, it was me, our boy Santos, Logan, Andrew, my homie Saul, Brian, and then Jacob. So the 7 of us were gonna end up competing. Jacob ended up getting injured, so he didn't end up competing. Brian ended up getting injured as well, but he ended up handling us, which was honestly better for both ends because he was more excited to handle us than actually compete, just because the prep overall wasn't the greatest for everyone, because too, like, everyone was all training separately too, so there's very rare times where we could all train together, opposed to the last prep over the whole summer, which was fun. And then, so basically in the meet, only me, Saul, Andrew, and Logan ended up competing. Because Santos also got injured too, which sucked. So Andrew competed in the morning. Shout out to Brian for keeping him afloat that whole thing, and then he basically almost had a flawless first performance. So shout out to Andrew for that one, even though all the bumps in the road you had in your prep and all the time we butted heads as your coach, that sucked. But you had a great show, and I couldn't be more proud of you. Saul also had a great first meet. We had that little hiccup with miscommunication with Brian when it came to loading the third bench, but Saul had a very great meet overall. He went 8 for 9. Logan went 6 for 9, failing his thirds, but he still took first in the 100 kilo class, and he still PR'd his total, and he still PR'd his dots, which was funny. And I always joke because the bro was not sober the whole prep. And now we go to mine. I ended up competing in the Raw Men's Open 90 kilo class because I'm not a junior anymore because I turned 24 in June last year. So this is my first full meet in the Open, which was cool, I guess. The goal was just to PR the total. And with that, with my second attempts, I probably had a clear, I can't remember the exact number, but I really had a clear meet PR total with my second attempts alone. So the plan on squat, so for this meet, we had a different strategy than what I was normally used to. So I was normally used to just having the openers, and then we judge the second off a minimum or aggressive range, and then the third is just determine how the second moves. So this time around, we just had a set plan with our first and second attempts. So for squat, opener, 430 pounds, 195 kilos. Second attempt, 452 pounds or 205 kilos. Bench, open with 259 pounds or 117.5 kilos. Jump to 125 kilos or 275 pounds. Deadlift, open with 563 pounds or 255. And then second attempt, 272.5 or 600 pounds. That was the plan, and then the thirds were just gonna be based off of how the seconds felt. So starting with squat, this was the only lift that we were just hell-bent on just the 3 numbers of 195 into 205 and then into 215 to match my all-time PR, but also PR my total or PR my squat on competition day, which was nice. So warming up, we had a pretty solid warm-up room at Barbell Brigade. We were using a brand new TSS rack on the platform, which was very nice. Shout out to Wes, the owner of Texas Strength Systems, for that. That was such a beautiful rack to use, and the bar was very nice. It was a custom TSS power bar with the Barbell Brigade logo on the end cap, which was sick. And then warming up, we were using ER racks in the thing, so it wasn't too bad. It was nice because we had enough kilos and enough power bars and everything, so the warm-up room was pretty solid. So warming up in the warm-up room, we went bar, 1 rep, 2 rep, 330, 375, 408 for our last warm-up. And then at this point, with the recomp and everything, me getting completely fed, because I didn't have to cut into this meet, all I had to do was just stay hydrated and not eat anything to make weight. So I made weight right at 89.6 kilos, so like 197-ish pounds. And so the recomp went very well. I ate my entire bowl of rice with soy sauce drowned on it, and this completely rehydrated with a bunch of Pedialyte. I love Pedialyte. For those who don't know me, I just love drinking it. So recomp went very well, so squat warm-ups were moving very well, and squat was feeling really good on the day, which it did not on the meet in August, because I was too rested going into this. I still felt a little bit beat up, but I still felt really primed for this meet, which was nice. Like, I didn't feel like I was too recovered, and I liked that so much better. So opener with 430 pounds, 195 kilos. For me, every meet that I've done, the opening squat is always the worst because it's just like, oh shit, I haven't lifted in a crowd like this in a while. So we blew up the opener, moved very well, and I was like, okay, the jitters are out of the way. Let's stop being a bitch and be the tribal chief like I delusionally think I am. So I told Brian when he was handling me, I was like, look, I don't need you to do much. I just need you to hype me the hell up and just keep me in the zone and yell at me. Which was, like I said, I'm very low maintenance when it comes to being handled. I just like having someone handle me. So I told the score table, jumped to 205, which was 452 pounds, and then our second attempt with 452 pounds moved very well. The fastest it did all prep, and especially on meet day, which was very nice. So with that, I was very confident. I went up to the jury table, I was like low 215 kilos, 474 pounds. And I walked out to it, fist bump all the spotters just because they're doing a very good job running the meet all day. And then I get under the bar. On rack felt a little bit heavy. And funny side note that it was weird squatting on this rack because both Texas racks we have at Legion, they're both busted in a certain way. So it was kind of weird being on a very brand new level TSS rack. So all my squat on racks felt a little off, which was kind of funny. Walkout felt a little heavy, but I settled it underneath, got a really good brace, got a really good pressure, especially biting on my mouth guard. Hit the hole, bounced out of it perfectly. A little bit of a grinder, but I know I probably had 220 kilos on that day. But finally hit a squat PR, matched my all-time PR, and then hit a PR on the platform, which was very nice. So we walk out of squat going 3 for 3 with a 215 kilo squat. So that was nice. So after squat, me and the boys, we just hung out in the outside area because Barbell had an outside area where we could all just have our stuff and just hang out so it wasn't too crowded inside the building, which was nice. So me and the boys, we were all just chilling. And everything. Just getting our snacks down, getting rehydrated, refueled and all that to get ready for bench. Bench in the warm-up room get kind of sucked because the ER racks were pretty old, so the pad was slippery and there was no carpet underneath the rack, so it was like really hard to get some decent leg drive. But other than that, we made do with what we did. In the warm-up room, I went bar, red, 220, 242. So we get on the platform, I opened with 117.5 kilos or 259 pounds. And as I go to unrack this thing, I almost body myself because like I said, the rack was actually even. So when I unracked it, my body had to recompensate and I was like, oh wow, that's what it feels like to be on a leveled rack again. Like I said, it sounds stupid, but the littlest things can make a difference on meet day, which is annoying, but I play baseball and it's a game of inches, so this is nothing new to me, honestly. So with that, my soft touch on the day for my pauses were the best they had been all prep, which was nice. I felt really in control of bench on the day. And it was just nice having a brand new grippy pad. So like I had no chance of slipping on that pad, which was very nice. Then we jumped to 125 kilos or 275 pounds, which is a little bit of a bigger jump for me on bench because normally I like to take 5 kilo jumps, that's it. But a little 7.5 kilo jump, nothing crazy. So went out there, unrack felt a little better. The 275 felt really nice, but it felt a little bit heavier than I anticipated. So I just went to the jury table. I was like, hey, just load 127.5 kilos. Because the 125 was already a meet PR, and then the 127 would just be another 2.5 kilo PR to the total, which was nice. And that was also that was a 5 kilo bench PR in competition, which was nice. So the 281 moved very smooth. I think I had 287 or 130 kilos on the day, but hindsight is 20/20, and bench went good. So we walk out of the subtotal going 6 for 6. So me being a deadlift specialist, walking out 6 for 6 with a subtotal is very nice. So now recomping for deadlift. At this point, I've had a Celsius, my 110 pre, a full serving of the 110 focus capsules, and then like a psychopath for deadlift, I take another scoop of the 110 pre, the high voltage one, bear in mind, and then another half serving of the focus pills from 110. So I think I probably had about 1,100 or 1,200 milligrams of caffeine in my system at this point warming up for deadlifts. My heart felt like it was beating out of my chest. I felt like I was gonna pass out, but I felt so damn strong and it was worth it. So warming up for deadlifts, I did my usual thing, 1 to 4 reds. It was kind of nice having the strongest deadlift in my flight at the time, and then when I looked at the overall numbers at the end, I had the second highest deadlift in the meet, which was cool, next to the guy who took best lifter. That guy was crazy. But yeah, so I went 1 to 4 reds, 485 as a warm-up felt really smooth, and then my last warm-up we had was just 530 pounds, because on deadlift I'm used to taking really big jumps anyway. So 530 felt as 530 should. And then for those of you who know me and have trained with me, when I get locked in for deadlifts, I'm a whole different person. It's nice. Like we activate the OTC, the travel chief mode. Like I said, I'm delusional. I understand this. I sound dumb and I understand that, but I'm embracing it. But yeah, so I'm sitting in there and I'm not even joking with you guys. In my AirPods, I've had both Roman Reigns themes or both post 2021 Roman Reigns themes in my AirPods blasting all day. I Am Greatness and Head of the Table. That's all I listen to. And on a side note, when I was gearing up for deadlifts, I went to the staff and asked them if they could play Head of the Table for my third deadlift. And I did get them to play it, which was amazing. So opening deadlift, we had 255 or 562 pounds. And walking out there, I was like, dude, this carpet is brand new. This bar is brand new. Deads are gonna feel amazing. And they did. But the platform, at this point, like I said, we were the PM session. So the platform was already getting beat up, so the platform felt a little bit uneven. I opened with 562, probably the fastest I've ever moved 562 in my life, and it was almost too fast to the point where when I got to lockout, I almost had a downward motion because I locked it out so quickly. But they gave me the down command before I got yanked forward, and so I low-key got lucky with getting 3 white lights on that, but fuck it. And then I went up to the table and I was like, look, 272 and a half, which is 600 pounds, this is nothing to you anymore. 600 pounds shouldn't be scary to you anymore, and it shouldn't. So was waiting for the second attempt. Went out there, I had the guy move the bar back for me a little bit just so I wouldn't be in the very direct center of the platform, which would be the most unlevel or uneven part. So I walk out there, and as soon as I pull it off the ground, I was like, holy shit, this is the easiest 600 has ever felt, and it flew very well. But I guess, like I said, I felt like I was falling forward a little bit too, which was unfortunate. So I got 1 red light from the front judge, but I got 2 white lights from the side judges, so that doesn't matter, that's all I need. And the 600 was very smooth, so the range he gave me was anything from 282 and a half to 287 and a half. I wanted just 285, which I thought would be the safe call, which would be a 2.5 kilo all-time PR and then a 12.5 kilo competition PR. So the 600 was my, to match my all-time in competition. So I went up to the jury table because I was confident in my strength, I just wasn't confident in me following, like keeping balance. And like just maybe the platform being a little bit uneven to where I was pulling at. So I was like, look, I'm gonna be safe, let's do 285. So I tell the jury 285. This was 6. So in my headphones, I was about like halfway through the head of the table theme. And as I'm gearing up for the third pull, I faintly hear bars loaded through my earphones, and I'm closing my eyes. Brian pulls it out of my ears, and right as he pulls it out of my ears, the song is still playing, and I go, why is my music still playing? And I open my eyes, and the head of the table theme is blasting in the gym, and everyone's cheering, right? Because at this point, everyone's cheering for the big deadlifts. So I normally never look at the crowd when I go lift because I just don't like doing that. I walk out there, and I kind of had to hit the little Roman Reigns gauge, just walking out there looking like this and everything. I see my mom in the crowd, I see my dad right next to her with my camera and everything. Shout out to mom for filming with her phone, and dad being my personal cameraman with my tripod, thank you. And yeah, I went out there and I was like, holy shit, this thing is actually playing, I gotta hit this. So the last time I had head of the table blasting in a meet was the Vegas meet when I pulled 600 for the first time. Now we have a chance to pull 285 kilos or 628 pounds. I set up, and the biggest thing for me is just to calm the nerves because I cannot get too amped for deadlift, otherwise I will mess up my whole starting position. So I take a little bit longer to get set, do my little thing with my arms to keep my back tight, pull the slack out of the bar, and I almost messed this pull up because when I wedged in, I didn't wedge as far as I needed to, and the bar kind of shifted in my right leg, and you could see the bar kind of move like this back towards me as I'm pulling it. But as soon as I got past my knees, I had the lockout power that I never had in the past, and I fought through it and I locked it out. I got 1 red light from the side judge because it looked like my shoulder was a little bit soft, and I understand that because that's the side that always looks like that. And I borderline almost slammed that bar into the ground when I put it down, but then I looked at the lights and I got 2-1, and that was to cap off a very good day. That pull was special. I'm hoping I could have the original audio in the video so you could hear it, which was sick. So I'm gonna have that whole clip up there right now as I'm talking through this. It was it was an amazing clip, and it just meant a lot to me because like this was my second ever 9 for 9. I didn't go 27 for 27 in white lights. I went 25 for 27 off my last 2 deadlifts. But other than that, 9 for 9 performance. And then I had a 30 kilo meet PR. So like I said, I totaled 597.5 kilos in August, and then I ended up hitting 627.5 kilos in December. And I told Alex after this when because me and him, we were texting throughout the meet because he couldn't make it out, unfortunately, because he had a trip to go to Japan. So it sucked he couldn't be there, but we were communicating the whole time, and we know what we needed to do. I know what I needed to do, and I trusted him the whole process, and he trusted me with executing on the day, so it was perfect. And it was nice, because like I said, I'm not the strongest guy, but I believe in myself, and I know what I'm capable of and what more I can strive for. Yes, I am delusional, but I know my own goals and what we have set for the future. And I think, in my opinion, this was a statement to me because, like I said, this was my 6th time competing, and this was a 30 kilo meet PR that whole time, so that was very nice. Finally eclipsed the 400 dots on the platform, which was nice. The last session was still going. I went to the car to get the title belt out, so I was walking around taking pics with this, so me and the friends. We're all just taking pics, having a good time. I'll put some of the pictures up here and everything, the tribal memes. And yeah, that was fun. It was a really fun meet overall, even though I was low-key sketched out just being in the area of Barbell Brigade, which was kind of funny. But then after that, my parents, they went back to my uncle's house. And then I was just going home the same night because I didn't want to stay another night in LA, just because if I don't have to stay an extra night, I'm not going to. So me, Brian, and Logan, we all went to Pasadena where their hotel was. We got a bite to eat at Yard House. I basically did my whole meet recap for Instagram that I'll link up here the whole time while we were eating. And it was just a fun time. It was just cool to be able to hang out with the guys for a little bit and have a whole prep and then have a very successful meet. Brian had a lot of fun handling us. He learned a lot. And shout out to him for just like stepping up and just being able to handle me, Saul, and Logan in one session with Andrew in the morning. So Brian, shout out to you, you big ass. And then overall, I was really happy with the prep overall. Like I said, it was a slow start with the triples. Doubles, we caught really good momentum. And then in the singles block, we took off, which was really nice. And then now as I'm filming this, it is February. I have 2 blocks under myself after that meet, and we were making some very good progress, and I can't wait to make the next video. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make this YouTube video where it's just a short recap of the prep with the meet, and then I'll recap this last bit of training that I'm talking about right now as in this current time. Because like I said, it's February 2025. I just recapped all the last bit of 2024. But honestly, that meet overall was really fun. It was probably the most fun I've had in a meet in a while. And the meets that I've done, right, I did in Los Banos, which is like an hour and a half from Fresno. I did it at BAB, which was in the Bay Area. The 3rd meet I did was in Sacramento. The 4th meet I did was in Vegas, and then the 5th meet I did was in near the Sacramento Roseville area. So I've always done meets in like the Northern California region or right in Vegas. This is my first time doing a meet in LA, and it was kind of nice because it was funny because this is the first meet that I've done where I didn't know a lot of the people. So it was kind of cool just being able to go into the meet, just kind of chill and relax with all the homies that we were competing with. Pretty fun experience overall. Squat was great, bench was great, deadlift was fun. The atmosphere of the meet was great because Barbell Brigade and Legion are about the same size, so it kind of felt like we were right at home. And it was just fun overall. I took 2nd in the 90 kilo open, and it was fun posing with the belt because I also met another dude in LA named Dalewin. He had his WWE championship, the one with the black background for those who don't know. So me and him were taking pics with that the whole time. We were posing with it, we were having fun on the podium. Took some more pics. Shout out to Harry too for all the competition pics that he took. I'll probably try and have a bunch of the pics like in the side somewhere so you can see all the pics that he took, because really appreciate him for taking those pictures. They were all really nice, especially the one of me and my dad at the very end where I'm holding the championship next to him. That was a really nice picture. That's probably one of my favorite pics of me and my dad. And then awards were nice. It was nice getting a medal. That was actually my first 2nd place, funny enough, because I have 1 first and I have 1 first place medal and then 3 bronzes, so that was kind of cool. And then I put it next to the championship display in my apartment, so that was cool. And then more post-meet thoughts. That was my first macro cycle with Alex, and that was also our first meet prep. It was very successful overall, and me and him couldn't have been more happy and proud. We talked about it afterwards, the plan, and we have some pretty big numbers planned for the next upcoming month. So I'm going to finish up this next training block at the end of February into March, and then I'm going to recap that entire 12 weeks of training probably in March. So I'll probably make a new YouTube video because honestly I want to make more videos again. It's fun creating content again and just making videos because like I said, I do have a decent bit of subscribers, but I don't get as much viewer traction anymore like I did in the past when I was in high school. For those of you who have stuck around since I was Mr. BrownMann, I give you props because you were through the golden age. For those of you who don't know or knew me in high school, I have that playlist unlisted, so for those of you who do remember that time and want it, I'll send you the link because that was fun times, but now we transitioned to this new period in my life where all I care about is powerlifting. I'm a retired baseball player, and I just want to see I can become the strongest possible version of myself. But yeah, it's been fun. So like I said, to recap pretty much, we got a new coach, we had a really solid prep overall, and we had a very good first competition performance with Alex, so that was fun. But yeah, with that is it with this video. Make sure you leave a like and also hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.